Functionality check. Wow. I'm wearing this one now. I'm wearing this one now. Access to common access to go to all military commissions across the country on Friday by 1 o'clock. We are going to see the same thing happen across all military.
Hello, good morning. You are welcome to Ọpọlọ Osun Innovents.
Hey, Femi, morning, guys. Morning, Femi.
I'm busy from 9 to 10 on Mondays. I'm still not too sure.
Hello, good morning, everyone. It's good to have everyone here today. We are glad to have you here at the physical location where we are currently, Osun State University, Olagusoye Oyinlola Auditorium, Osun State University, Osogbo, Nigeria. Permit me to do a brief introduction. Ọpọlọ Global Innovation Limited, it's a platform that promotes innovators, startups. And one of our programs is the Osun Innovents. Osun Innovents is an initiative that is led by Ọpọlọ Global Innovation Limited. Ọpọlọ Global Innovation Limited is a leading innovation enabler, incubator, and we aim at supporting innovators, startups at scaling their idea into profitable enterprise. So our aim for Osun Innovents, which we are holding the pre-event today, is to position Osun State as a tech innovation hub of the country. Ọpọlọ Global Initiative is a national initiative, and we are currently using Osun State as a pilot, right? And we have gotten much traction from all over the country. So I want to say welcome again. Osun Innovents, today's event, serve as a platform to congregate entrepreneurs, thought leaders, industry experts, government functionaries. Bringing all these individuals together is aimed at providing a better future for the youth, thus growing the economy of the state. So the earlier plan is to have a mega event, but looking at the big interests that was shown before today, we decide to dimension it into two parts: a pre-event and a mega event, which will come up November 10th to 12th. So Permit me to welcome you once again to today's event. And I hope we will all enjoy this event, and we believe that this congregation would achieve its ultimate goal. Thank you very much. On that note, I would like to welcome the team lead of Ọpọlọ Global Innovation Limited, Mr. Olufemi Kalejaye, to give us a welcome address.
All right, thank you so much, Deji. Good morning, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me well. Can you hear me? Can I get a confirmation either from the people connecting online or physical?
Yes, Femi, we can hear you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome everyone to this pre-event of Osun Innovents 2021. This event is actually part of the major initiative of Ọpọlọ and that is anchored on four pillars, which we call DICE, where D stands for digital, I for innovation, S for skill, and E for enterprise. The approach for us is to use this DICE initiative to identify talents, develop talents and ideas, and also build entrepreneurs across the country. And we are starting this initiative in Osun State. And this initiative we have started running in Osun State. As part of the initiative is to set up a city-based hub in campuses. A hub is being set up in Osun State University and also at Ọbáfẹ́mi University. We're also setting up rural-based innovation centers. Currently, there are 10 innovation centers in the suburban areas in Osun State that will be set up. 2 of the hubs is already live. I believe during the course of this event, we'll be able to showcase the 2 innovation centers that are live, one in Ọ̀tún and the other one in Ifetedo. And also the staff of those centers will also be showcased or recognized as part of the efforts they put in place into the different activities that will be running in the hub. This event is crucial to us and is also passionate to us. We've put a lot of energy and a lot of passion in planning today's program, and we believe that all the participants that will be physically present in this event and also connecting virtually will have a lot to benefit and also learn from this program. As part of the program for the event for today, we have a session for building business brand, and we have experts that we are calling the session. Some of the experts are in Aboyeji, who is the co-founder of Future Africa. We also have Sheyi Oyenuga, who is the ED Atman Corp. We also have for productivity. And we have the president of Nigerian Women in FinTech, who will be anchoring that session. This is Bamidele Bayo. And also Eric Chukwu, a program specialist with EFINA. And we'll also have, we are also blessed with the presence of Dr. Femi Oyenuga, who is the CDO of ASEAN Microfinance Bank and also a member of the advisory board of Ọpọlọ, who will also join us in that session. And Mr. Sheun Adesanya, who is the head of strategy for Systems Tech, who will be joining us in this session. Key to the activity that will also be happening today is idea and product pitches that will be carried out by startups and talent within Osun State and within the Ọpọlọ ecosystem. And for us, we believe that the whole the state is blessed. The state has about 18 tertiary institutions, the second highest institution in the country. And we want to turn Osun State really to be the tech hub for Nigeria. And in doing so, we need to be able to identify and showcase talents with ideas so that we can provide support for those ideas. We can provide mentoring for those talents. And we'll also provide commercial backup in terms of funding, in terms of providing network leverage that is required for these ideas of scale. All this will also happen in this particular session. So we'll be having a session where ideas and startups will be pitching, and they will be making their novel work in different areas which cut across fintech, renewable energy, and also marketplace. I want to make this statement very short. I want to welcome everyone to the pre-event of Osun Innovents. I believe every one of us present here physically and also connecting virtually will have a great time learning from the different sections that will be taking place throughout this event today. I also want to thank DG and also our partner, the Osun State government, in supporting this initiative and also making this happening at this particular point in time. And also the financial partners who have supported us in making this a reality, and it has actually come to stay. I want to say a very big thank you, and I also want to welcome everyone again. Thank you so much. DG, over to you. Hello, DG.
For
Next item.
double map provided we have to build, identify different lovers that are close to you, and you can contact them via using our mobile application. Also, if you are looking for adventure, you get to a city for the first time, and you are in a hotel and you need a restaurant that is actually having a cheaper amount, you can actually go to our app and give you with double map to be able to tell you double by numbers that are close to and contact them that are using our mobile application. Also, that is private checklists and try to need around like actually having a cheaper actually go to our app. Private checklists and try to actually cheaper actually go to our app. Private checklists and try to actually
Hello. Femi, can you hear me?
Hello, we can hear you now. Good. The
Oh,
voice is back.
fantastic. Yeah. And so apologies, guys, because there seems to be some network connectivity issue. We're trying to sort that one out, especially when we look at the audio. But whilst we're waiting for the technicians to round up, I probably want to sound our opinion on how we view innovation as a change agent for talent and economic development. Most especially when we look at our progression into the fifth industrial revolution. I was just really a change agent for talking around the especially when we look at revolution now, where is help change agent for talking around especially when we look at revolution.
So I'm not sure whether I'm the only one that cannot hear doctor, but I think his network was actually breaking.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I think the doctor speaker is like network is breaking, something like that.
Talking around
So I'm not sure whether I'm the only one that cannot hear doctor, but I think his network was actually breaking.
He's trying to resolve it. I'll reach out to him.
I can hear you now. I think the doctor speaker is like network is breaking, something like that.
Talking around
So I'm not sure whether I'm the only one that cannot hear doctor, but I think his network was actually breaking.
He's trying to resolve it. I'll reach out to him.
I can hear you now. I think doctor speaker is like network is breaking, something like that.
talking around
So I'm not sure whether I'm the only one that cannot hear doctor. I think his network was actually breaking.
He's trying to resolve it. So we'll reach out to him.
I can hear you now. Doctor speaker is like network is breaking, something like that.
So I'm not sure whether I'm the only one that cannot hear doctor. I think his network was actually breaking.
He's trying
So I'm not sure whether I'm the only one that cannot use it. If I So I'm not sure whether I'm the only one that if I I'm not sure whether I'm the only one that if I
My name is Akinlabi Akimbo, founder of Meyi Solar, an electronics and power engineer. Do you know that the Earth receives more energy from the sun in one day than the world uses in a whole year? And that in the midst of this abundant supply, 85 million Nigerians are without access to electricity. Those with access have low quality and poor availability. We are addressing this power demand gap using solar energy source. We generate noiseless and flawless electricity from sunlight energy. We improve efficiency, reduce costs, and save the environment with solar PV panel installations and innovative energy storage systems. We like to build financial and human resources and network with Ọpọlọ Global and electronics so as to grow our current capacity and build more channels and support to deliver electricity to Nigerians. We seek to raise 10 million investment funds or grants for this purpose. Currently, we have planted 5 rural communities and 20 homes in Nigeria, impacting more than 1,000 lives and micro SMEs. Our impact will increase to more than 10,000 lives and businesses in the next 3 years as we build more capacities and channels for impact. Our rural market size is more than $2.8 million, while the urban market size is more than $29 million and is still growing. We are at a growth stage, having developed and run our prototype costing $4,362 to deliver in Osun State, Nigeria. We have evaluated and got feedback from the rural and urban market, and we have seen great growth potential. Our uniqueness is in our focused value adding, quality and durable products, and our closeness to the rural communities with unparalleled support from our clients. We have trained and equipped 10 youths and will be adding 50 more youths and women to the program. We plan to stabilize our projected gross sales revenue of $228,000 and grow by 25% in the following year, growing our customer base to above 360 homes, SMEs and communities in the next 2 years. We currently record 25% gross profit margin in our income. We want to build a technical workshop and R&D center to design, build and reverse engineer some of the systems that we deploy so that we can generate some local content and value adding, working with the Indonesia and institution of Naseni prototyping. Thank you very much and I appreciate that. And grow by 25% in the following year, growing our customer base to above 360 homes, costing 4,000. Design, build and advance engineer some of the systems that we deploy so that we can generate some local content and value adding, working with the Indonesia and institution of Naseni prototyping. Thank you very much. And grow by 25% the following year, growing our customer base to above 360 homes, costing 4,000. Design, build and advance engineer some of the systems that we deploy so that we can generate some local content and value adding, working with the Indonesia and thank you very much.
Okay, my name is Steven Adebanji. I'm a lecturer at Osun State University and also a mobile developer at Untitled Chapter, where we have a team of software developers and UI UX developers. The problem we are solving is tag Isheowo, which means artisans, or better put, skilled workers. What we are trying to do is we are developing an app that would allow users to be able to get any artisan or skilled worker that is available around them when they need it. Let's say, for example, you are in a place and you need a plumber. You don't have idea of a plumber that is around you. What you just need to go to our app is just go to our app with Google map provided in the app. You'll be able to identify different plumbers that are close to you and you can contact them via using our mobile application. Also, if you are peradventure you get to a city for the first time and you are in an hotel and you need a restaurant that is actually having a cheaper amount, you could actually go to our app and it will give you, with Google Maps, it will be able to tell you different.
Good day, I am Edward Oladipupo of EdPU Extra Life. Together with my teammates, we've been able to analyze the problems facing the African healthcare sector, some of which include patients' inability to access affordable and efficient healthcare services, lack of proper medical record keeping, and inability to access patients' medical reports, especially in cases of emergency. Our solution include providing a secure online database platform where patients' medical reports can be easily saved and accessible in cases of emergency, provision of artificial intelligence medical assistance to help patients where there is no doctor, and to help doctors quickly analyze patients' medical reports. We have a valuation of the industry to be about 35 billion US dollars and a total addressable market of 18 billion US dollars. With our business model, our serviceable available market is 3.5 billion US dollars, and we look forward to raising a pre-seed capital to bring our solution to the market to be fully operational. And we look forward to getting the support through the help of Ọpọlọ Global to help us get this pre-seed capital, mentorship, as well as network with industry experts. Thank you.
Okay. So on that note, I would like to invite the judges, Dr. Femi Oyenuga, Mr. Akin Makiwa, and Mr. Ashino Adesoya to give us comments on these videos. Thank you very much.
Okay, Dr. Thanks. This is Femi Oyenuga. Maybe I can make it start. The last one on the last video, I was quite interesting in terms of the capital injection they were looking for, 3.5 million. What really informed those numbers? That's number one. And then, how do you plan to scale, the solution going forward, knowing that in the health sector, COVID has really changed or informed the dynamics in a different way. So if you look at 2021, 2022, 2023, would that be enough in terms of your capital outlay? So I just want some clarity around that. Thanks. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Adesoya, you can from the startups.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah, I did have some
Yes, we
question
can
on
hear.
yeah, did you guys get my question? The last video. I was asking question on the last video that 103.5 million capital outlay. And I was saying what informed that number. That's number the first question. The second one is how do you plan to scale this when you look at how COVID has changed the entire ecosystem in the health industry? Hello? I seem to be still a little bit of problem with the audio.
Sorry, we can hear you. We can hear you. I think the admission.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay. So who's going to respond to that?
Hello. Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Hello, we
All
can
right.
hear
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very much. So we had technical issues here, but it's now been resolved, right? So on that note, I would like us to move to the next item of the agenda, which is, of course, the first plenary session for the day, which is building a business brand. And on this call, we have Akin Makinwa, who is the team lead for the FinTech Institute, to serve as the moderator for this plenary session. And we also have Inyaboyeji, and the co-founder of Future Africa, the co-founder of Flutterwave, as well as Seyi Oyenuga, the co-founder of Hartman Corp and Secure Pharma. So Akimakinwa, over to you.
I'm not sure Akimakinwa is on this call.
Oh, okay. It seems we can't. Akimakinwa left already. Maybe he has a network issue too.
There's a Makinwa Francis. I don't know whether it's on the call. Makinwa Francis.
It's Makinwa Francis. So.
He's actually on the call. So.
Okay, Makinwa Francis, please. You have the floor, sir. Okay. So on that note, I would just move to Mr. Seyi Oyenuga. Mr. Seyi Oyenuga, are you on the call, sir?
You have another Oyenuga on the call, but not Seyi.
Oh, yeah, that is serious.
Yeah, I think it's more of a connection. Is Inyi on the call? Maybe we can move to Inyi and then we cycle back to the to Aki and Seyi later.
Okay. So yeah, thank you, sir. He also is yet to join. The session is to come up 11:10. This is 11:11. Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I can start with a placeholder as we wait for them. What is the topic again for this plenary session?
Yes, it's building a business brand, and the idea is towards building a digital business. Yeah.
Fantastic, and that is a very good. That's a very good subject. Building a business brand. If you look at the way business brand, so my name is Femi Yuniga. I'm one of the advisory board of Ọpọlọ and a digital evangelist. I'm happy to be here, and thanks for joining. Anybody that's listening to me, sorry and apologies. We've been having some hiccup concerning connectivity, but I'm sure as the days goes, as we go deep into the conference, we should be able to sort this out. So building a business brand and looking at the angle on the digital technology part. In the past, traditionally, business brands are focused on most strategic pillars, like you look at things around SWOT, your strengths, opportunities, threats, and then weakness of an organization. And that has worked well in the first to the third industrial revolution. But I dare say that in the fourth industrial revolution, things have changed. What has made things change? Digitization, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, customer centricity, customer engagement, customer typology, customer DNA, has all culminated to reshape the way business brand needs to be built. Because your brand must talk to your identity, but it must also communicate the value proposition that the corporate or the enterprise is trying to project. I do recall Femi Kalajai mentioning the DISC model that Ọpọlọ is projecting. So you have to look at the digitalization, the skills towards the enterprise. That really, really is what helps to build a business brand in this fourth industrial revolution. And even looking at the fourth industrial revolution, you're also looking at it within three angles. How does my brand sit? I hope everyone can hear me.
We can go ahead, doctor.
Yes, we can hear you live.
Yes. How does my brand sit with the digital imperative of the macro ecosystem of the market that I'm serving? How does my brand sit with or talks to the corporate strategy of my enterprise? And how does my brand talk to the commercial enterprise of the ecosystem? So to build a brand that talks and speaks digitally in 2021, and if we look at 2022 and 2023 and 2025, the ingredients of digitization must come as a very important toolkit for you to build the brand. So I'm just talking generically now because it's not a subject area that I have depth into. And that's why when I have a call or yield the floor to Inyade, who has done something with Flutterwave, can even give you the deep dive understanding of building the brand. But as I continue to project the way the three pillars of building the brand is, you have to first dimension your brand towards your vision and mission. Very important. Who do people say we have? Who are we transforming into? And number two is that we have to now look at how the tools for digitization interact with your customer that are engaging with that brand. That's customer interaction. And then you have to look at how do I engage these customers that have known them, because customer centricity and customer typology is quite key in building a brand. Now you have customers who you have to keep selling, cross-selling, and upselling to. That means that you cannot look at any customer as one monolithic, the way we used to look at it in the past. So basically, you have to look at that customer. How do I reach this customer from my customer interaction? That's why the omnichannel tools around your brand must be active and alive. That helps you to segment your customer appropriately. And the last one is looking at enterprise risk and governance around the brand. You have to look at that as well. So all those pillars are quite important for us to now pitch a brand. Now, finally, there are regulatory components that you have to consider when you're building a brand, a business brand, most especially painting it over the back of digitization or innovation. How does regulator, how do they see my brand? So if you look at what is happening in the crypto world, for example, it's an evolving front. At some point, there will be an anastomosis of the regulators as well as the crypto operators for them to both understand how this technology built around blockchain would help project a brand of any organization that is doing that. So I think let me kind of summarize it on three concluding points. The first one is that understand the customer, understand the market, understand the ecosystem from a regulator perspective and governmental participation. And the last one is that how am I projecting my brand in terms of advocating what the brand really communicates? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Yunuga. We really appreciate you for that quick speech. Akin is on the platform. Akin, over to you to call your session.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Femi. Thank you, Dr. Oyenuga. Sorry, there was a technical glitch earlier, but we're back on board now. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Go ahead, Akin.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so is Sheyi Oyenuga on the call? Because we were supposed to have like an engagement in terms of with respect to this session. Is he on this call?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm here.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Good morning, and nice to have everyone here. It's quite interesting to have this engagement, the Ọpọlọ Osun Innovents. And this morning, okay, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Akin Makinwa, the team lead for the FinTech Institute, the learning partner, the capacity building and learning partner of Ọpọlọ Global Innovations. And this morning with me is Mr. Sheyi Oyenuga. Okay, so Mr. Sheyi, maybe should I introduce you, or you just want to introduce yourself and let people on the platform to get to know you, sir? Hello, Mr. Oyenuga.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing?
I know you're a farmer, but I would
yes,
like
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. You're audible enough for me.
Okay, let me make sure my audio is working properly. Sorry about that. Okay,
loud
fantastic.
And clear.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. It's my pleasure to be here with everyone today. As mentioned, my name is Sheyi Oyenuga. I'm with Atman Corp Nigeria Limited. We are industrial food processors and farmers here in Ibadan, as well as co-founder of the platform and program Secure Farmer, which helps us connect first-time farmers, smallholder farmers into and engage them into agriculture through the use of technology. So it's my pleasure to be here with you all this morning.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Oyenuga. So this morning we'll be talking about agriculture and technology, where most people know it as agri-tech. And it's been quite interesting because for a while now, the fintech ecosystem in Nigeria has been focused on the financial aspects, the pay tech, and the likes. And if not until recently, should I say, just before COVID and post-COVID, where we're still in the COVID era right now, there's been some sort of a diversification into health then agriculture. So from your experience so far in Nigeria, I would like to know, how would you measure, or should I say, gauge the level of technology adoption in agriculture? Because, just let's have your first thoughts on that, Mr. Oyenuga.
Okay, thank you. Very good question. I believe that we're at a very interesting point and really a turning point in agriculture, specifically here in Nigeria. I think we've got some amazingly bright minds of people who want to get into agriculture, coming from different industrial professional backgrounds. Okay, specifically, I think a lot of attention thus far has gone towards agri-tech, focused on more financial services, providing investors avenues to invest in agriculture, which has brought a banking and financial sector view on agriculture, which has been, honestly, I think, difficult. And I say that because we've got different actors who have experience in banking, but may not have experience in agriculture. And bankers can be very good at putting things together on spreadsheets. When it comes to actualizing it in something like agriculture, we've had some varying success in it. Okay, I think we just recently came out in the news about one group that did pork money or something of that nature, and they took everyone's money, right? But then you also have some very successful individuals, such as Farm Crowdy and other names, that have successfully been able to steer investment into the agriculture sector that can help produce quality products that are marketable, which has been helpful. What I think the next step needs to be, and the assistance is now providing technology that is applicable to our area and our region to really improve yields and productivity, which is difficult, which takes a shift from our smallholder farmers to now bringing in these individuals who are interested as farmers, these college-educated university graduates, also just smart individuals who are interested in technology that can help them achieve what they'd like to in the agriculture sector. So I think that's where the step needs to move to, and it's going there. Investment is flowing into the agriculture sector. It is just I know as people who are potential investors, it can be a treacherous time, because I've heard stories of people investing and not getting their money out. There's been people who invested and have had some success on the onset, and later on had troubles later on getting their funding, but others have done it well. So it's finding that right mix of technology as well as the operations to make sure that it succeeds the right way in agritech.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oyenuga. I think some things, quite a number of pointers you've mentioned piqued my interest, especially the aspect of, you talked about the yield and sort of bridging the gap between the operations and the other value chain in the agritech sector. And if I try and align it with what we're passionate about, Ọpọlọ Global Innovations is supporting indigenous startups to scale, especially indigenous agritech startups. And there's a rising challenge right now, which technology is solving, and which could also be a threat to indigenous farmers in Nigeria. For example, I know there are some countries in the West that are leveraging technology to grow some produce that naturally wouldn't grow over there, like some cases like mushrooms and some produce generally that normally wouldn't grow there. So, and I agree with you, there's a need for deliberate funding and support, especially for agritech startups in places like Osun State. So at this point, I would just like to know, are there any initiatives that your organization is currently deploying that startups, agritech startups in the Ọpọlọ cohort, as well as their partners, can leverage in terms of support? It could be finance, it could be technology. Are there any initiatives in place right now that agritech startups in Ọpọlọ cohort can leverage?
Certainly. Very good question as well. We have incorporated various technology, and frankly, there are steps that even our indigenous farmers have not taken that are 2,000 years old. If I remember my uncle saying that our farmers still don't even use cattle and plow, right? And for the most part, you very rarely see even an indigenous farmer using anything outside of his own hands to cultivate crop. And that frankly has to change, and is something that any farmer can engage in to increase the yield and the productivity that they have on their farm. And what is necessary to make that work in this environment is really embracing a shared economics, a shared economy to help reduce the cost of usage to smallholder farmers and farmers entering into the agriculture field. One product that I appreciate and even have installed on some of our tractors is Hello Tractor. It's the Uber of tractors. Now farmers don't have to be concerned about owning a tractor. They can just pay for their usage and be connected to farmers or operators who have tractors that can be deployed to their region or area to cultivate their fields, till their fields. Those types of technologies are impactful to even the smallest farmer, because the issue we have here in Nigeria, very much so, is connecting markets. A farmer may want a plow, but he can't find a plow. An operator may have a plow and have idle time, but he can't find the farmer that needs it. Okay, and that's the crucial aspect to make sure this ecosystem continues to work. We face that even in our own production line. If an actor or a processor producer doesn't have access to market, the chances of them surviving diminish quickly. Ensuring that the people in need and those who have the need can be connected is crucial. So something like Hello Tractor, I found it a very crucial tool for smallholder farmers and farmers entering to find their ways to get tractors to their site. It's a digital app that they can download and they can now be connected to tractors. That opens up tractor owners to now be able to make more money. It now opens up farmers to be able to utilize even a technology that is 100 years old, that's not incorporated yet in most agriculture farms. Nigeria is the least mechanized farming country in Africa. We don't have enough tractors to feed or to be utilized by the farmers in this country. And connecting these people was part of the issue. That's one technology I see. We also talk about, if we're talking outside of digital technology, we're talking about quality of crop protection and chemicals being used. You'll see a huge difference by utilizing quality inputs versus using substandard inputs. The difficulty is finding that proper chemical to use on their field. And these are things that really are opportunities for people to have verification tools to ensure that they're buying the correct product and applying it correctly on their field. Without these things, you can even be buying the right product and utilizing it the incorrect way, and farmers aren't getting the productivity that they need. So there's entire slate of digital tools that can be used to help farmers improve their yield and also have them stay inside the agriculture sector. It ends up being an industry or a sector that is easy to get in and easy to get out for newcomers. I spent money, I lost money, so I'll get out and do something else. If we can ensure farmers are being productive, are making money, actually prices would go down. We're seeing a huge inflation in food costs this year, and there's no plan to reduce anytime soon. We pay a premium here for food than you would find in Western nations, and that's simply due to productivity. So I think if we can start engaging and utilizing these tools, especially the youth who are apt and interested in these things, there's a huge opportunity to see the gains that we need to ensure that agriculture is a productive sector where people are making money and consumers are also saving money.
Fantastic, Mr. Unuga. I think you touched quite a number of talking points, and the one that also interests me the most is the value chain. You've touched some aspects of it, and my next phase of discussion with you will cover a few angles, but let me start with the value chain, because should I say an average Nigerian feels when you're talking about agriculture, you're talking about getting your hands dirty on the farm. But from the number of things you've mentioned in the course of our discussion, you've touched base on a number of things that they can actually be looking at in terms of the value chain in the agriculture ecosystem, where they can also make money as a farmer, as an investor, or probably by providing a technology that makes everything smooth. So can you sort of expatiate on the value chain in the agriculture sector aside farming?
Sure.
And, secondly, you talked about, okay, yeah, thank you. Then secondly, the aspect of internal generated revenue, because Osun State is big on farming, and would like our folks over there, our agri-tech startups, to serve as a platform that, as a platform that can also support the government in generating revenue. So can you please give us some sort of your expert opinion on the aspect of the value chain, which can also drive the aspect of generating revenue, even for the state? Thank you.
Sure. Fantastic. Thank you very much. I'll start with the value chain question, and I'll focus from the beginning, from the actually seed production, which doesn't necessarily need you to be a farmer. We have opportunities here to provide high quality seed to farmers, supporting farmers by either growing it or connecting farmers with growers to now be able to distribute high quality seed. It's really the foundation for where high quality crop will come from and productivity gains will start. I'll say specifically with our organization, we've engaged with IITA, the research institution here in Ibadan, as well as working on a project with Bill and Melinda Gates to deploy a technology called SAH, semi-autotrophic hydroponics, which allows for rapid multiplication of seeds. So farmers can get disease-free, high-quality hybrid seeds to plant on their farms. It doesn't take being a farmer to be a part of that, okay? And it's something that can be done in a small lab the size of a room that people have the opportunity to participate in. I also already mentioned tractors. I tell most of my staff, as a young person, if you're in agriculture or not, tractors is one of the biggest earners you can have, right? I tell some of my staff, and some of the contract workers who handle tractorization and tillage are earning up to 80,000 naira a day, operating tractors, maintaining them and running them. That's off one tractor. Some of them have 2 or 3, and it's big money. And it doesn't cost 80,000 to run a tractor for the day. If you're talking about fuel, they're not spending more than 5,000-6,000 on fuel. Now it just becomes some of the operational cost. But you'll find it so tough to find a young person who's interested in that aspect of the business. But it's more than most bankers are making. And you use technology to connect with people who are interested, you'll have endless amounts of business. And it's one aspect where
even
financial services
don't get as much as that.
They don't get that much. and based on the rates, exactly, just due to economic supply and demand, there's a huge demand for tractors. And if you're in the right area, you'll never have an off day by the amount of work people are requesting for tractors. But you'll see how hard it is to get a college graduate who studied agriculture or agricultural engineering to want to learn tractors, that they're above it. Our Western counterparts, their kids, even they're college educated, are learning tractors. They grew up on them and they understand the importance of operation and maintenance of them. I preach that one to so many of the kids who come through our company, and very rarely anyone is interested to learn tractorization. The next one I'll speak about is storage, which I think is something from an investor standpoint, or people who have a bit higher capital capability can be a part of. Just simply storage of crop and produce can be a huge earner for investors. be it just dry storage, siloing maize or soybeans, I'll say, you can see in a 3-4 month span, the increase of some of these crops by 30-40%. And this is passive income. During harvest time, you're busy. After that, for 3-4 months, you're basically checking on your crop inside a storage container. And there are now sensors and data points to ensure that the crop is at the right humidity, right temperature, so that it's staying fresh. And now you're reselling 3 to 4 months later at a higher price point. And that's a very simple part of the value chain that's needed. That is a big money maker for people who are interested. Okay. And then of course at the processing end, from drying to full processing of materials, of crop materials, there's a lot of opportunities to be able to move crop from the hinterlands to these urban areas, and simply by drying, that are seeing a lot of people earn revenues. I talk about companies like Real Fruit, which is run by a young Nigerian who is doing dried mangoes, dried coconut, and selling it at a premium in urban areas. And then supporting people like that is also crucial. Testing is very expensive here in Nigeria as a processor. And a lot of the cottage scale or small scale industries don't understand the cost or even what to test for, which is reducing the ability for Nigerian crops and products to be marketed internationally, and even here domestically to multinational companies. The multinationals we work with have a strict testing requirements. And if you don't meet those requirements, you can't even begin to supply. And a lot of processors don't understand the requirements in order to ensure their food is, or their product is safe and healthy for consumption. And when you start dealing with these large multinationals who have the distribution network, then they need to ensure that someone doesn't come back and say that the food that a consumer bought from them made them sick. So understanding that from a processing end, just supporting processors, centralized testing facilities, discounting the rates, understanding what they can cost, finding a network to reduce the cost, similar to what's been done, is a huge industry. And lastly, I'll mention insurance. You'll find that in these peri-urban and rural areas, insurance is not available. I remember being on a call, and the insurance agencies of these large ones for even agriculture are located in the cities. They don't have offices or care to have offices in these rural areas. And they're missing out on a huge opportunity to protect farmers, but also to gain substantial revenue from that. Okay. And your next question about generating revenue from the state, if individuals or people are in the agriculture sector, there's a huge opportunity through the movement of goods in order to generate revenue for the state. Currently, when we get a load of cassava, there's a ticket issued for every truck that's on that road that's generating revenue for the state and local government. There's ways that if these things were digitized, because farmers still have a lot of difficulty connecting transportation to their end markets. If this was digitally enabled, farmers would now be able to, book a truck on their smartphone or regular device using agents, and the state could find a way to tax these digital payments to ensure that funding came into the state for every truckload that was moved, and that tracking would be available digitally, and there'd be ways to track it. I think that if production of if value chain improvement is made on these crops, there's a way for states to reap revenues for what they're being able to sell out from the increase in value of these raw materials that are just predominantly sold to consumers. We have a lot of crop material that can be upgraded to certain other industrial inputs. Specifically with us, cassava flour is an industrial input in a lot of food products that people do not know. And there's an ability for those things to be revenue generators for the state, as well as employment opportunities for thousands upon thousands of youth by incorporating them into the value chain.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Yunuga. That's quite a lot of information. So, and which brings me to a point where I would like to say we have quite a number of agri-tech startups in our cohort. Is there a way where we can sort of partner with you to see how we can create a learning program for them where you could sensitize them on the value chain, the opportunities, the challenges, and how to also navigate the challenges with respect to be able to even export their produce, their product outside of the country where the market, because agriculture, they're not limited to Nigeria alone. So is there a way we can sort of partner with you and your organization to create a learning program, a series of learning programs? They could come over to Ibadan, it could be virtual, you know, however, we can always work out the modalities. Is this a possibility?
This is certainly a possibility. I'd love to do that. We value working with the youth and specifically entrepreneurs. We actually, most of our staff, we encourage to go out and be entrepreneurs. So we hope that their employment at our company is a learning ground to set them on the right course to go start their own businesses. Because I think that's really what we need here in Nigeria is a crop of predominantly youth and mixed in with experienced individuals, really changing the face of agriculture here in Nigeria. So we'd love to participate in that. Our gates are always open. We'd love to schedule tours, have people involved in every aspect, see what we go through on the processing end and also on the testing end and even on the value chain to see what's missing to get even the difficulty is just getting crop to our factory. I think there's huge opportunities there for tech companies, fintech, insurtech, mobility, as well as agri-techs to really be a part of the value chain.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you so much, Mr. Yunuga. I think you've given us quite a lot of thought-provoking instances and things to really consider that can benefit the agricultural sector of Osun State from the agri-tech, from the aspect of being an investor, a farmer, as well as other aspects of the value chain. Thank you so much, Mr. Oyenuga. It's been really insightful and interesting. Thank you. Over to you, Dichi.
My pleasure.
Great. That's quite an insightful interaction. Yeah. Thank you so much. I want questions from online. We have some questions from here too. So if I would go first, right? The first question we have here is that Mr. Oyenuga. The first question is that what are the things you look out for in guys that are in agri-tech stuff when you are approached with agri-tech solutions? What are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things you look out for before you can say, oh, this is fantastic, this can scale as a business?
Great question. I think 2 things that come to mind for me when looking at agri-techs is one, we'll start off with the team. I think there are a lot of smart individuals here in Nigeria, especially in some of these agri-techs. I think what sometimes is lacking is experienced individuals who understand agriculture and more so than the tech side. I think we've got a lot of tech individuals who understand programming, understand the tools and the capability of technology. I don't know if we have enough people who are agriculture business-minded to understand how to connect those two. So sometimes we see agri-techs come out that don't fit into the marketplace to provide value to individuals or companies. And I think that's key. So if you have someone who's been in the agriculture sector, worked with organizations or companies, can understand the issues and the challenges, and the agri-tech is really providing a solution to either, to lower cost, increase productivity, and really add value, you start to see an organization that really has an opportunity to flourish. And along with that, number two, I say is understanding that they have a market. I think there's a lot of great ideas of what can be used for technology or how technology can be used in agriculture. But understanding how is that product useful for the market? Is it really providing a solution that is helping its end customer? And we've had to learn from that from trial and error. And I'll say in experiences, we bought into drone technology, and it was through a program. And we heard drones are great for agriculture. But what we did not realize is that drones were structured for, the drones that we acquired were structured for agriculture in Europe, which is very different than the needs that we have here in Africa and Nigeria. Now follow that you don't have the technicians, you don't have the processing capability, you don't even have the same crops where it can be useful to use that technology. So really finding a team that individuals understand that you're solving a problem that is unique to the area that you're in, not that we're cutting and pasting a solution from another country to work here in Nigeria, because our problems are very different and our solutions are going to be very different. And the opportunities are also very different. And the segments can change from one area to the other. There's been some great technologies out there that I've seen around agri-tech, food tech, that are being deployed and are working. And they're only covering a small portion of what's needed here in Nigeria. So I think really having someone on your team that understands agriculture, as well as having people understand tech, is really just going to help agri-techs really succeed in the industry or here in Nigeria. Hello, I cannot hear anyone.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. That was good. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. That was good. Yes. I want to ask, do you have any other question? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. That was good. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. That was good. Yes. I want to ask, do you have any other question? If we don't have any other person with a question, I want to say thank you very much, Mr. Sheyi Oyenuga, for this session. It was quite insightful and productive. Yeah. So thank you very much for the time.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah, great. Thanks. And we'll, of course, do follow up as regards the next steps and on partnership. Yeah.
Yes, please do.
Okay, thanks. Okay, hello, everyone. I want to say this interaction has been a successful one, and it's been good, and we enjoyed having everyone listen attentively. Yes, I want us to move into the next section, which will come up in the next 5 minutes. So we have the presence of Mrs. Bamidele on this call, by Oshibo on this call. Yeah, thank you. Bamidele, good afternoon, ma'am. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
It's good to have you here.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This session would we'll have a discussion around developing the digital skills for productivity. So on this second plenary session, I would be the moderator. That's Adedeji Ajani, and panelists include Bayo Oshibo, Mr. Eric Chuku, Dr. Olufemi Oyenuga, and Mr. Sean Adesola. Good to have you here. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can. Okay.
Session, having a discussion around developing digital skills for productivity. So on this second plenary session, I would, hello, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can, but there's
Yes,
some
we can.
echo. There's some echo in the background, but we can hear you.
Wow.
I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
We can sort of hear you. I can, but it's a bit low. And like Dr. Efo said, it's there's an echo going on.
Okay. How about now? Am I clear?
It's a little clearer. Yeah, the echo is still there. Though.
Yes, we can. Some echo in the background, but we can hear you.
It's actually the second device. You might need to mute the second device.
Okay. I hope I'm clear now.
We can sort of, I can, but it's a bit low. And like Dr.
Oh, okay,
Efo
all right.
said, there's an echo going on.
How about now? Am I clear?
It's a little clearer. Yeah, the echo is still there.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone.
Probably you switch to it.
Device. You might need to mute the second device.
Okay. I hope I'm clear now. Okay, all right.
There's an echo going on.
How about now? Am I clear?
The echo is still there.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone.
Probably.
How I'm clear now. Okay, Mike, very clear now.
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, we just got that resolved. Thanks. Yeah, yes, like I was saying, the next session would be a discussion around developing digital skills for productivity. And in this plenary session, we'll have Mrs.
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me?
I can
Yes,
hear you.
I can hear you from here.
Okay, okay, fantastic. I apologize. I apologize for I wasn't sure if I was if I could be heard at the time. So I mean, I guess the big idea is to talk about building a business brand. I mean, realistically, you know, I don't have too much you haven't necessarily heard about it. But I think that I just wanted to share a few thoughts. Hopefully they can help you as you consider building a business. I think one of the most prominent thoughts I have to share is really that, you know, building a business. Hello? Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay.
Loud and clear. You're audible enough.
Okay.
Yes. Please go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. The biggest thing about building a business brand is that, you know, is that you have to have a very clear mission, a very clear why. The number of people tend to look at branding from the point of view of what people see, but the reality of what a brand is that it's a promise about what the world could be like when your mission is accomplished. And every day people have to see that, you know, you embody that brand and that you are a realistic path to a future that they see. And this is why it's so important for you to begin your business by building a very clear mission around your business, because, you know, this mission is going to extend to almost everything you do, from, you know, trying to attract investors, trying to attract employees, to even trying to attract customers that will be loyal to your brand for the long term. Now, the other thing is, you know, in constructing this brand, a lot of people come from the point of view of kind of pumping themselves up or building a brand that is really about showing who they are or making a lot of noise. But I think the most poignant missions are usually in service to community, and they speak directly to what you want to give the customer. And this can be sometimes a foreign concept in our environment where, people clearly understand that, you're really trying to create an environment where you are enabled to as a brand to serve people, and you exist as a brand to serve people. But I can assure you that the brands that focus their energies and their efforts on serving people tend to be far more far better, not just prepared, but far better, not just far better prepared, but they're generally able to build more lasting loyalty with their customers, because the customers think about their brand and say, where would we be without you? So extremely important to keep that in mind. Thirdly, when it comes to building a business brand, we one of the things that we need to also keep in mind is that it is really critical that we take every customer's feedback as an extension of our brand. So what does that mean? It means that, after you've made these big, bold promises to serve people, you actually have to build your operations and design your operations around actually doing exactly what you have promised. And this is often also a foreign concept in our environment. People make a lot of promises, and sometimes for reasons that are not within their control, they cannot fulfill those promises. But you have to understand that, you have to continually evolve your operations to be able to bring that brand promise to life. So extremely important for you to build your operations around it and measure it as an outcome. If you say, you're going to deliver so and so service at so and so time, part of your brand is your ability to be able to do that. Fourthly, I think it's extremely important that we. Fourthly, I think it's also very, very important as you build your brand that you build out a community of people who embody your brand, and those are the people who your service most impacts, and that you tell regularly their stories. When we're building the Andela and the Flutterwave brand, I think one of the things we thought about a lot was, who are our real end customers, because we sell to all sorts of interests, large companies, in the case of payments, or sometimes in the case of selling technology services and talent. But at the end of the day, we had to pick on a customer who we could have made a measurable impact on, and then work very closely with those people to be able to do something. And these are just a few of the very important principles that I've learned over the years when it comes to building your brand as a business. I hope this suffices. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. That was quite interesting. I don't know if there are people on the platform with questions, but before we go to them, I'd like to throw a few questions. Maybe, okay, so I would like to talk about mistakes, really. I know you must have realized, okay, seeing, we made a mistake here, and how you navigated those mistakes. So do you have any regrets or about any mistake?
I mean, naturally, in the course of building your business, you're going to make quite a number of mistakes. So you should expect to. If you're not making mistakes, you're probably not being adventurous enough about the business that you're building. I think that, perhaps some of the most poignant ones was not being as clearly focused on our actual customers as we thought we were, or as we could be. There's a need for everyone to build a specific kind of rapport with their customers where they're teaching you things. And I'll give you a very common example. I mean, very early on in our payments business, we thought the real challenge was that people wanted to accept card payments. And when we got into the market, all of a sudden we started to realize that people didn't really care card payments. In fact, if they could, they wanted to avoid accepting card payments because it came with an extra transaction fee. And what they really cared about was not really the problem of accepting card payments like we had thought, but the problem being able to accept any method of payment that their customer shows up to at the till. You see, many of these businesses, especially as they grew larger, couldn't focus on be able to reconcile all those payments and be able to offer the problem we're solving. So rather than we spent a lot of money on card infrastructure and building card technology services. But once we understood this, we had to switch gears. And this is what matters when you make a mistake, how you recover from it. We had to switch gears to building basically an omni-channel you're using, but it would integrate to you. And sometimes that meant integrating to our customers, which seems very odd. But at the end of the day, ended up delivering amazing impact for us and for our business. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you so much for that. My second question before I let the participants and everybody on this platform ask the questions as well is, the goal of, should I say, one of our key objectives at Ọpọlọ is to develop the rural market such that techpreneurs can go to Osun State and set up there, not the way everything is just centralized in Lagos. So what kind of advice would you, because in reality, we need more in Nigeria, and thank you so much for the great things you've been doing and for the greater things that you're still going to do. So my question is, what advice would you give to the young techpreneurs that look up to you, like, Yaboyeji is doing great things, Adela, Flutterwave, to the guys in the rural areas, what advice would you give to them? Because I believe a lot of them still think, they still have to go to Lagos, but we're in a digital world. So what advice would you have for them?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it is really around building capacity from where you are, and then ultimately taking opportunities to expand your horizons whenever you find them. What does that mean? You are currently in Osun State, but there are things you can learn from Osun State. You don't need to be in Lagos to learn how to code, and you can build projects from Osun State. You just need an internet connection. Now, if you're in a place without an internet connection, you do have a real problem, because you do need to be in an environment where you can learn some of these skills, whatever the skills are. But I think very early in your career, the big thing is leveraging the power of the internet to learn the practice. Now, after you have done that, there would be a need for you to rub shoulders with your peers from around the world, from around the country, who are operating in the best class of your industry. And that might be the time for you to take opportunities to go to wherever you need to gain those skills. And I think that's okay. But I think ultimately the goal should always be not to just go and expand your horizons wherever it is, whether it's Lagos or London or wherever else, but to come back and impart that knowledge into the next generation, because that's really how ecosystems are built. And I know for many of us who are technology entrepreneurs, many of us have been blessed to the level where we could and go somewhere else and do whatever else we wanted to do. But then we realized how important it is for us to be present, to be role models, and to continue to engage and encourage the ecosystem. And this keeps us here, grounded at home. So I would say, early in your career, your preoccupation should be understanding the theory. And you can, thanks to education and the internet, kind of get that grounding off of the internet. But much later in your career, the priority necessarily has to be engaging the global community. And that requires a different level of engagement. And you might have to move wherever your peers are, the best in your industry are, to be able to sharpen your iron. But ultimately, if your goal is to come back and give back to the community that raised you, so that there are more of you, then ultimately, I think that's ultimately the best noble intention. And you definitely need champions like that to be able to do so.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Nyaboeji. That's been insightful as well. And I'm sure our participants, our folks from Ọpọlọ Global Initiatives have taken note, and this will serve as a springboard to, to even do greater things. And yeah, thank you so much. I don't know, Deji, if you want to take questions from the platform. Hello, Deji, Ajani.
Sorry. Hello. This is Ian again. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. This is Ian. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
You're audible enough. Please go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I have to leave a little early. I just have to deal with something. It's been an amazing time with you guys.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I just have to pick up this call. I'll try and join back in later in the day. Once I'm done handling this.
Okay.
But if I don't manage to do so, I just wanted to say goodbye and thank you for having me. Okay? Thank you so much.
Hello, yes, yes, I'm available. I'm here. Okay, thank you very much. We are very grateful for this opportunity, but I have a quick question. Hello?
He's not on the platform again. He excused himself that he had an emergency that he needed to attend to urgently.
Hello?
Hello, Deji.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. This is Dr. Yinda.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah. So I was just saying that we've had a fruitful engagement, and the discussion around building a business brand with the focus on digital business has been a very good one. The discussion has been so insightful, and the feedback from here it's quite interesting. And of course, we have some questions for Inyaboyeji, but since he has left, we'll just share with him later. So the next plenary session is on developing digital skills for productivity, and on that session, we have I would moderate the session as Adedeji Ajani. Then the panelists include Mrs. Bamidele Bayo Shibo, right? And she's still on the call. Thank you for being patient, Ma. Mrs. Bamidele Bayo Shibo is the president of Nigerian Women in Information Technology. We have Mr. Henry Chukwu too as a panelist here. Mr. Henry Chukwu is the program specialist, digital financial services of EFINA. Then we have Dr. Olufemi Oyenuga, is the chief digital officer for Asian Microfinance Bank. And we have Mr. Seun Adesanya, who is the group head, strategy and digital financial services. So the idea behind this
title is that we all know that there is a big shift now, and from the traditional ways of working, right? And the next the fifth industrial revolution now is now, but it's now permitted on technology. We don't have a choice, right? And it means that the people that would be making the next the fifth industrial revolution, that will be making it great, are people that are preparing themselves for that industrial revolution era, right? So this focus would just be having a discussion around that. So I welcome the panelists, Mrs. Bamidele, Mr. Henry, Dr. Femi, and Mr. Sheon Adesanya. I hope this will be an interesting one, right? And we look forward to a very beautiful engagement and interesting one. So Mrs. Bamidele, do we have you here, ma?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mr. Ajani. Thank you for having me.
Great, thank you. Dr. Femi Oyenuga.
I'm here. Thank you, Mr. Ajani. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great. Mr. Henry Chuku.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Great. And Mr. Sheon Adesanya.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's always an honor and privilege to be on such a session like this. And good afternoon, my co-panelists.
Oh, great, beautiful. I'll just start from it's always to say women first, right? So, Mrs. Bamidele, yeah, we agree that the tomorrow or the future is full digital, right? And we can't move away from that. It's a fact, right? So far for the Nigeria women in tech, what have you done so far? Let's you start from there, then we move into the core subjects.
Okay, thank you. Yes, there is no denying the digital necessity and the digital evolution. What have I done for the women in technology? We have, while we recognize that the youth have to be educated and handheld and helped through this transition, we recognize that the people who are to enable transition also need some level of transitioning. So we have continually done webinars, talks like this with the women in technology in Nigeria. So just so you have a perception of the association, it's an interest group of Nigerian Computer Society. So Nigerian Women in Information Technology is that that faces the women, and I am honored to be the president currently. We have had sessions during our flagship program in June gone. We had about 3 sets of training, and it was all digitally inclined. So we had a session on AI, we had a session on digital marketing itself, and the third session was on building confidence and sort of motivational. And the reason for that is that we know that it takes a bit of self-motivation to actually make that shift. And we partnered with ICDL for the AI session. It was very successful and the women appreciated it. Our group is 60% civil servants who are in IT, about 30% who are in academia, and the rest of us are in the industry or in some way or another. So if you look at the statistics that we have in NIWIT, we need to upskill some of us to join this party. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. That's good. It seems the focus for the women in tech has been female, and I think the way now is that we want more female in the tech space, right? And and that's so cool. Quick one, Mr. Eri. Yeah, from the financial aspects, right? It's been the major issue that most youths face when it comes to the developing digital skills. We always complain about finance, and more of us that are into the fintech space. It seems like we don't have that kind of support in a way. So what's your view about that?
All right. Thank you so much for that question. For me, generally, I think first is not just about finance. The first leg to digitization of digital, coming up with digital innovation is more of ideation, coming up with those innovative ideas. That should be the first leg. Yeah, I know quite well that finances are quite important to support some of those visions and to support these innovators to grow, to nurture their ideas and grow. There has been a lot of buzz in the market around funding, raising funds and all of that. And sometimes it puts a lot of young innovators, most of the people they are usually under pressure to raise and to be able to push their ideas. But I'm going to speak briefly on that from a finance standpoint. Quite all right. We know that sourcing funds are quite difficult. At the same time, this actually calls for diverse stakeholders, not just looking for foreign funds. It is important for individuals to start looking closely to this developer community, looking closely to individuals creating ideas, coming up with innovative products and services that can better the lives of Nigerians, drive inclusion, social inclusion, and all of that. There are several ways that we can, that these innovators can as well raise funds. But from a finance point, over the years, we have tried to support this sector, right? Supporting the sector beyond the finances. We also look at it from the standpoint of knowledge, providing the credible market information that can support these young innovators to be able to come up to build the products that really appeals to the people, products that meet the needs of Nigerians. And I think that should be the first leg. If you're able to build a product that is well sought after, getting funding will be much easier for you. And from a finance point as well, we have tried over the years to provide support in terms of finances to people within, to innovators within the space through grants. Over the years, we have given over recently for the fintech community, to be precise, over $2 million to some fintech organizations, and I think that's really helped them to to upscale their products. And I think beyond sourcing funding from others, from maybe from the West, from Europe, America, and all of that, there's need for well-to-do Nigerians to look closely to see how they can as well support these innovators. I think I can pause at this point.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. But the reason why I asked the question is that in Ọpọlọ, really, we actually have this quad helix approach, and that's the model we use. Yeah, we are bringing from the academia, bringing from the industry. We're also looking at the partnership from the government, the public sector, and lastly, like you've mentioned, the individuals. So for us, we are using the quad helix approach. The HNIs are part of the partnership we've been able to form, and as it is, in a way, we have a commitment of about to establish about 10 rural innovation centers in Osun State, and this is building, right? And what we do, which is bigger than just Osun State. It's a national initiative, and we're piloting in Osun State. So in a way, I think finance is key, and I think there's a new shape to all these things. Like, yeah, the individuals are now looking at supporting startups and innovators. So thank you very much. Right, I would quickly ask this question from Dr. Femi Oyenuga, a well-experienced digital man, right? So Dr. Femi Oyenuga, are you still on? Hello?
Yes, I am.
Oh, great. Yes, you've been in the financial sector for a while, and your focus has been more of the digital. Yeah, I want to ask you a quick one, right? Ọpọlọ is setting up an investment platform called the League, right? So from your side, looking at it from the digital aspect and looking at it from the finance aspect, what are the key things you would actually look out for if you are approached to join the League, right? What are the key things you look out for? Yeah, looking at it from the digital and the financial experience you've had over the years.
So, Digi, thank you very much. So I think even before I would answer that question, let's probably lay some context to the question. So it helps us to really uncover the answer to your question. So there are three things you have to look at for, primarily on a canvas of, digitization. People, very important, culture, and then service. So if you look at it from that angle, it's all enshrined in a meshwork of technology and innovation. Like I mentioned when this conference started, the fact that the fifth industrial revolution is upon us is not no more a breaking news. And the fact that we've cloudified most of the services, and we have tech trends and tech solutions as helping us to deliver that service is no more a breaking news. The issue we have sometimes is the behavioral context to it. So to answer your question, how are we engaging government? That's number one. Corporate organization, that's number two. Tertiary and educational sector in Nigeria, and as we actually use Osun State as a template for success, how we engage in them to fine-tune those behavioral contexts around digitization. So even like my last speaker has mentioned, the ideation is quite important as well. What kind of brainwave or thought showers are we enabling in our tertiary institution as we go into the fifth industrial revolution? And to your question, your Ọpọlọ has started extremely very well towards the League. So there have been some even webinars and digital training that Ọpọlọ has been doing for the past 2 years, catching them young, harnessing that seed within the children and the students in the Southwest, and I didn't see an extended team as well, when they're teaching them how to code, just really, really birthing that seed of digitization in them so that they can, like Inyi mentioned, continue to learn and give back to the community. That's one of the things I look at for. Number two is, what kind of organization can we partner with, corporate organization, that really buys into our vision and understand that, joining a league of investors, either seed or angel, is quite important for us to push the cars into the next level. And number three is that, how do we learn, unlearn, and relearn the things that have worked well somewhere, and we can quickly fine-tune to make sure that the league becomes a success. You'll be amazed that some people are computer science and computer engineering students within Nigerian context. But some of this discussion we've had today, has not really been enshrined into their thinking. How can we change that behavioral trajectory for them to think that way? I mean, remember we Sheyi Oyenuga was really giving us some fantastic insight on agri-tech. He mentioned about tractorization, tillage, storage, processing. And I also mentioned things around the value chain, around agri-tech, in short tech, So you find that people go into such courses only want to go and work in the ministry. But really and truly, there are a lot of digital tools, platforms, and technology that helps to ensure that your behavioral context is shaping or sharpened towards being part of a digitally aware person. And that, in a way, culminates into what kind of attraction we are looking for the league. So let me stop right there. I think I've touched on a few issues as well. And then regulation is also something I will look at for as well. How can we use regulation to our advantage to ensure that we promote the league to the next level? Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I think I will just pick it up from the regulation aspects, and I would now be talking to Mr. Sheon Adesonya, right? So regulation really, like you've mentioned, it's a big thing. All right, I think we have a similar, just few months ago, have a similar regulation around the crypto, like that. So, you can imagine. Yeah. So, Mr. Sheon Adesonya, hello, are you still there?
Live and direct.
Oh, great. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, system effect, right? As it is, innovators, we have digital developers coming up with crazy ideas, crazy developments, right? And you'll be like, well, how are people, where do these guys get this crazy idea from? Right. So for us in Ọpọlọ, we have we bring these cohorts together, right, and we channel what they do into solving societal problems. And just a few weeks ago, we concluded an AI program in partnership with Osun State University, where we were able to train about 200. The goal is 1,000, but it's now in batches, and we had the one for AI innovation. The AI innovation, we trained about 200 currently, and the next batch will be coming up in September, right? But there's this particular question that these guys keep asking, that's okay, after acquiring these skills, what next? So we asked this question. So I was like, okay, let's ask from experts, the industry experts. You've seen better, you know how crazy these guys can think. So I'm not asking you the question of, as the group head and strategy, what are the, let's say, the 4 major things you look at for, okay, you have a development, okay, before you can say, okay, this is a business, this is a development that can scale into an enterprise. What are the things you look out for in this kind of solution before you now propose it? Okay, this is something that can scale as a product.
Okay, thanks for that. I also want to believe that you've touched on several things. You've touched on the aspect of identifying the potential of a product. Then at the beginning, you also mentioned alignment of innovation with regulation. So let me start first with identifying the potential of a solution. The honest truth from experience is every innovation must come from the understanding of the market gaps. If there are no gaps, there shouldn't be anything called solutions. And one of the things which we have taken up as a challenge for ourselves, which has also been a pillar in modeling the next generation, is that solutions are not just solutions for solution's sake. Solutions comes as a result of identifying market gaps, societal needs, industry challenges, that we can then innovate solutions that will help to address. Before now, there have been situations where people just develop things and say, you know what, just take it and use it. No. But we realize that the best approach, which has been tested, trusted, and has been valid, is that your innovation must come from the understanding of the needs. So if you are bringing a solution to us, the first thing we ask is, what gaps is this solution closing? And if the answer is such that the gaps that is being currently looking at closing, someone is already closing it. So the other question we ask, so what are you bringing that is different from what others are doing at the moment? And guess what? The challenges of human being is numerous, which means that there's room for a lot of innovations. However, the gaps is always there, that people are actually not taking time in gathering sufficient intelligence in order to identify the gaps that they need to close. One of the things we did in system specs was everybody always thought that it was the TSA, Treasury Single Account, being adopted by federal government of Nigeria across all the agencies and ministries, and of course by all the major states, if not all in Nigeria as we speak, and corporate organizations. They thought, oh, it was system specs, remitter is all about TSA. No, we've been existing proud to that. As a matter of fact, across the industry, we boast to claim we have the most innovative and the best human payroll solution in Africa. And that was one of the things we were able to take hold of. And it was from that experience we realized that there is a need, that we need to complement the payroll such that it becomes a seamless process for people who are on the solution. And that's what actually led to remitter. So the good thing was, when government were now looking for a solution that will help them to close the gap. May I also say this, because this is an international platform, that the Treasury Single Account Initiative was a World Bank bidded process, meaning multinational organizations with names came to also bid for that same project. And the only way in which we were so successful was not just because we had the solution, was because we understood the problem. Because our innovation came from the understanding of the problem. And that was what actually helped us. It was so easy because in all the people that came, there was always this aspect that we understood the problem we are trying to close. And it all comes to system specs. And that was one of the things we've been able to do successfully, and which is now a thesis across the world. You understand? And probably, of course, you know that one of the most successful achievements of this current administration is the implementation of the Treasury Single Account. So that takes me to the second question you asked. Now, of course, innovation takes steps ahead of regulation. There might have been challenges in the past where regulation thinks that it can force innovation into a box. But time and chance has proved to them that it is impossible. And what we are not doing, not just as a player or as advisor to regulators or as practitioner, is to see how there is an alignment between innovation and regulation. Don't forget, regulations are not regulations to kill. Regulations are being put in place to safeguard the environment so that there is a fair playing ground and an healthy competition that can bring about more value. And that is where we believe that the agencies of government who are responsible for regulations and all the practitioners are coming together to align thought. So gradually, days ahead, weeks ahead, months ahead, years ahead, you will start realizing that the regulations are no longer regulations trying to kill innovation, but a regulation who is trying to enhance the value being created by innovation. And I think we're already on that path. And I can assure you that the regulators are also very sensitive. That now, one of the things I believe they're also looking at is, before they even roll out in any regulation, they will first do what we call policy impact assessment. That if we roll out this innovation, this regulation, what will be the implication on the consumer or the market? before they will now roll out the regulation. I think those are the processes that they are also trying also to embed in their own processes, such that we can have a fair playing ground and healthy environment for all stakeholders. I hope with that point of mine, I've been able to answer your question convincingly.
Yes, beautiful, sir. Yes, you really did, and it's actually clear that the discussion around this has to be continuous, because there's a whole lot of change around how innovators get to approach investors, right? And I think we'll just do a follow-up as regards that, and we'll see how we can continue this discussion, really, because it's really a broad area. It's a broad area we really have interest in looking at the kind of business we do, right? And the ultimate goal for us as Ọpọlọ. So thank you very much for that insight. Thank you very much. Ms. Bamidele, I was just thinking, something came up, all right, in a discussion among the team just a few days ago, and it's about how do we, Ms. Bamidele, I hope you're still with us, ma.
Yes, I am.
Oh, thank you very much. And thank you very much, ma. Yeah, the discussion was around female inclusion as regards ICT, as regards STEM. We observe in a discussion, and we realize that the involvement of females in ICT seems to be very low, right? And for us, we are actually we are not being gender biased in any way. But then female, we are just trying to come up with different ideas that would help drive the female inclusion in ICT. What are the best advice you can give us as regards this?
Okay, thank you. Good question. So if we do a gallery view of the attendance here today, I don't know, maybe 5 ladies. I'm trying to look at the names and wonder who are women here. So that is one of the things that we can begin to do, inclusion, and give women a seat at the table. Invite us to these events. Let us express ourselves so that we can all be beneficiaries of that expression. It is a known fact that there are some things that women and the way we are built to do things differs from the way a man would do it. So let's not move away from that, and let's not lose out on that fact. So one of the things that we can do, inclusion. One of the things that we as women have been doing in general is, like Dr. Femi mentioned, catching them young. There's a Girls in ICT program that I know of, 1, 2, 3, being organized by different sets of women. But I think primarily one of the issues there is that, and it's very fundamental. Yes, finances are an issue generally, but I think in particular, for a woman, it's almost twice as much of a problem. Even though we have gone past the days when they will say, go and bring your husband before you are given the loan or facility or the help, but it is still there. So that's another way of helping and moving this lacuna of enough women in the industry forward. I think, in the words of one of the women I know, we just have to be so intentional and continuous about this being including women in the technology arena to get the value that can bring to the table. I hope I've answered you. Intentional, continuous involvement. The days of when it was said that women were not interested has gone. Women are very interested in technology-driven and digitization, but we need a seat at the table always. Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful, ma. Because really, for us, it's we just want, we are really heavy with the female inclusion as regards ICT. And, you know, the team is so much interested in that area. Thank you very much. I want to ask Dr. Femi, do you have something to contribute to that with regards female inclusion in a way?
Thanks, Deji. You brought the word out of my mouth, actually, because Ms. Daly, what she's done is that she's created a charge for the male folks on this platform, and in Ọpọlọ as an international organization as well that is connected to say, can we mentor a female in ICT as we begin to sow seed of digital transformation for them? Can we mentor female? Because really and truly, the male folks, and this is not a gender bias or gender, topical issue. It's just the fact that we are even doing ourselves a lot of disservice by not bringing the female folks into digitization and to ICT. If you're one of the some best doctors around the world, they are women. Best scientists that NASA has produced, they are women. So why do we think that excluding them from the equilibrium will serve the purpose to money? It would not. So I think for me, I think it's the mentoring skill and the mentorship that the male must, looking for the right word, must deliberately mentor the female folks, just so that we can ensure we galvanize that yearning and that waiting passion that needs to be harnessed. In the population of Nigeria today, you have a ratio 2 to 3 female to male folks. So really and truly, when you look at the 58 to 68 million millennials that we're dealing with, you have more women there. So that mentoring is important. That's what I will add for now. At any conference, any service, any opportunity for us to bring the women folks, we have to populate the female. I mean, I just hired some key roles at the bank, and what I did was that I deliberately went for solid and willing, able, passionate women to occupy those positions, so that we can depopulate the boardroom later in life with hardwares and put some software into the boardroom. Thank you.
Great. I think I'll use that opportunity, because really gender inclusion, the female inclusion is a hot topic out there, and especially when it comes to digitalization, the ICT space, right? So I want to take, what's your take, Mr. Henry, as regards this? What do you think? So we can just move on.
Sorry, I didn't get your question. Please, can you?
Yeah, we're talking about the female inclusion in ICT, and how we have very low population of the females in the tech space, right? So I'm not asking what do you think would have been the contribution, and how do we break this barrier? It is very important for us in the company. Yeah.
All right, thank you for that. I think the previous speakers have really said a whole lot about mentorship. From our various studies, we did like last year, we did a survey of Nigerian FinTech survey. We recently did report on blockchain. What we found is that a lot of, looking at the participation, right, you definitely have more men than women. Even in terms of founding team, you have more men than women. Women are really not, they're not really, when it comes to inclusion or maybe driving, founding team composition, you have little women compared to men. I think we just have to be deliberate. I think the gap between the gender gap exists across board, not just within the fintech space. I think that from the looking at it from even the financial inclusion, you have a huge gender disparity between those accessing formal and informal financial services, and there's a whole lot of factors that are contributing to it. We have to as well look at what are those social norms that are really contributing to women. Most of them are willing, they are quite intelligent. Women are really intelligent, really intelligent, but the thing is, sometimes they are quite, they are restricted from coming out, right? So beyond the mentorship, incubating, getting them out, there's need for us to look at the behavioral aspect. What are the things, what are the behavioral aspect of this whole thing? Why are women not really coming forward, participating in technology? What are those social norms that are really preventing women from doing much? How are they spread across? How is these factors? How we need to understand how these factors affect women across the geopolitical zones, and see how we can develop strategies to start getting them on board. I also like what you have mentioned that you're doing at Ọpọlọ. There's need to be deliberate about that. There's need to incentivize. There's need to create awareness. There's need, because sometimes women may want to do, right? But sometimes they need somebody to make decision on their behalf, right? So I think that those behavioral aspect is something that we need to really watch closer. We need to do more studies around and see how we can encourage whoever that is major influencers for these women, to get them, to be able to push them further to participate in anything that has to do with digital, or participate more in the financial sector space. Incubation is very important. There may be need for you to create an incentive, to incentivize those women that are willing to come on board, to participate, to learn more digital skills. There's need to incentivize. Sometimes even finances can discourage women from participating. Sometimes when the issue of finances comes into play, they may just put things on the table and say, how can we spend this amount when we can use it to solve some family issues. I think probably those incentivizing some of women to participate is quite key. So institutions, development agencies, corporates can be deliberate about this. You can create pro initiative that can support women, to spur them to participate in learning digital skills.
Really beautiful. Really, this would have been would have just continued this conversation, but we have another plenary session coming up at 1 p.m. right? And we're just three minutes. We have just 3 minutes left, right? So quick, to round up, in a minute or two, Mr. Shell, do you want to make any contribution as regards that, and we'll move on? Hello.
Okay, so my final contribution will be that there is a lot of opportunities for innovation in Nigeria and in Africa, and there is room for collaboration. And I sincerely want to appreciate Ọpọlọ for facilitating such an engagement like this that will help to birth many great things to come. So we are excited, and that's why the entire System Specs family is 100% in support of Ọpọlọ and the initiative. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. This is beautiful. We have a quick question from here. Of course, I know we'll have people online with questions, but what we'll just do is because we are really running out of time, right? The question is that if within the space as in the fintech, what is the major question that the fintech would be asking in the next 5 years? And this question goes to Mr. Efo. The major question the fintech space will be looking at, like, okay, we want to solve this major question. What is it?
Fantastic. And I think what the major question that fintech will be asking to solve, to ask is that, what is the major problem that fintech has not solved in the last 2 years? You know, like Sheung mentioned, digitalization is to solve a gap, is to close a gap and solve a need in the ecosystem. And I don't think we've done that. So really and truly, how does fintech connect all the dots around red tech, insurtech, agri-tech, medtech, and edutech in the next 2 to 3 years? That's the basic question, I think, fintech, because the platform for payment and engagement has been produced. So how do you now connect all that ecosystem together? And that's the gap that fintech needs to solve in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you very much. Do we have anyone with a question online? 1, 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, I think I have a quick one here. And the question is, given the social justice movement George Floyd sparked globally and the subsequent end-SARS protest that was sparked by it, is Ọpọlọ currently innovating solutions to drive citizen protection against police brutality? Okay, thank you very much, Tokpe Adeyoji. Okay, all right. Thank you for this question. We'll just share response as regards this after this session. Yeah. So thank you very much, the panelists. Thank you for sharing your very good insights. We're very grateful for this, and we've learned a lot from this discussion. So thank you very much, Sars. Ama.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. On that note, permits me to quickly invite the chairman of Dr. Shego. I know would be giving us a brief, a special message next 5-10 minutes. Afterwards, we'll have the plenary session. The next one is on understanding intellectual assets and property, will be taken by Professor Oyewumi Adejoke. So she's already on the call. So permit me to give a special message from Dr. Shego Mahina. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, it's good to have you here, sir. Thank you for the support to this team. We are very grateful. So we want your special message, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, DG, and your team. And I want to congratulate you and commend you for putting this program together, which should go a long way towards solving some of the youth-related issues that we have in our communities, particularly in Osun, and in particular, the rural areas. And I'm happy that you are doing this as an hybrid, where you have a number of young people within the auditorium of the University of Osun State University, while a number of others are joining virtually. That's the power of technology that we have these days. And I hope that the audience focus, which are the youth, the young people who are going to be the creators and innovators of tomorrow, I hope they are getting a lot of benefit and noting the very said by people that have spoken. And you have an array of speakers, the best you can get in Nigeria, you know, who we have lined up for this event. I mean, Sheon Adesanya, Dr. Femi Winoga, Henry Shuku, Mrs. Bamdele Bayo Shibo, Inyabuiji, Sheyi Oyenuga, you know, Akimakiwa, and so on and so forth. These are incredible lineup of people who have been very prominent in the innovation space and have also been very, very vocal in terms of how to change the society that we are in. So I want to commend you for that. Just like somebody had said, the society keep on evolving, and it is innovators that changes society. The platform that we are using today was created by somebody who has innovated. You can imagine if you don't have a platform like this, like Zoom, like Microsoft Teams, like Google Meet, you can imagine what will have happened to the entire world during COVID. We use mobile phone today. Some people that have sat down to create it. Even the internet that we are using, the World Wide Web, created by Sir Tim Berners-Lee. And of course, coming home, I mean, the like of Inya Boyeji, who spoke earlier on, they created Flutter Wave just a few years ago, maybe about 7 years ago. And Flutter Wave is today a unicorn. The unicorn is defined as a company that is worth more than $1 billion. So if young Nigerians like he and his group can 7 years ago create a Flutter Wave that is now competing with the best in the world, if young people in Nigeria can Shola and Ezra Dubi, and Shola Akinlade can create a paystack, which today is also highly valued, So and if John Obaro can create a system specs that is driving TSA in Nigeria today and changing the narrative and saving money for government, you can see that the environment abounds with talents. That what makes the difference are the opportunities, and that's why I'm happy that Ọpọlọ is driving this national program and starting with Osun State, and not just starting with Osun State, but going into the hinterland, the rural areas where the opportunities are even limited compared to capital cities like Osogbo. And I'm happy with the partnership that have been done up, particularly the Bank of Industry that is really, giving a lot of support in terms of pushing the frontiers for the creation of innovation hubs in the universities in Osun, and also individuals that are setting up innovation centers in those rural areas, and with the support of communication companies that are going to provide uninterrupted internet facilities. You can see today that this program has been interrupted in a number of ways. We hope that once you consummate the relationship with Airtel, MTN, they should be able to upgrade the facilities that are available in those locations that you'll be operating, and that will make for seamless operation. These are just the beginning. This is just the beginning, and I'm sure that the future holds good. With the kind of partnership they have lined up, with the kind of support you see from institutions, we thank EFINA for being here. We thank World Bank, we thank Fidelity Bank and EcoBank for the support that they are giving, and of course the state government, who are really very, very keen on this, and they are the state government is warming up to play big time during the main event that is coming up in November, which will be like a 2 to 3 day event, together with some federal government agencies, some ministers who would have not been here today, but because this event of today has been scaled down, given the COVID emergency in Osun State, and the need to keep everybody safe. That is why even the state has cancelled most of the events planned for the 30th anniversary of Osun State, which comes up tomorrow, which is why this event has been put for today. But in spite of that, the team said they will still go ahead and do this at a low level. But I'm really very happy, and I hope this recording of this presentation will be there so that you can play it to a larger audience in the future. They can listen to all the subject matter experts and thought leaders that that have spoken, and those that will be speaking, like Professor Adejoke Oyewumi, who is an expert in intellectual property, which is a very, very important thing to consider when you are talking about innovation, when you are talking about patenting, you are talking about trademarking, copyright, and things like that. So I hope